Promoting your book. Once you have followed the suggestions for publishing your book, which I spoke about in another video, and your book is published, it's time to enjoy being a, quote, famous author, unquote. Two ways to do that come readily to mind are doing a book launch party and securing as many readings as possible in a public setting. Your book launch party. Most of the people I work with are self-publishers. As independently published authors, they are the ones who organize their own book launches. Recently, the Memoir Network held a successful book launch for the publication of Business Boy to Businessman by Robert Verro, as told to myself. Writing a memoir is a long haul, and it is refreshing to have an event to gather friends and family and fans together to acknowledge that an end and a beginning are occurring. Here are some ideas for what you will need to bring to a book launch. 1. A sufficient number of books to sell. It is hard to say what sufficient is. You clearly do not want to run out of books, and so abort sales. So, make a good guess about how many people might show up. I would round that number up to the number in the next full box of books that you have with you. That's how many books I would bring to a book launch. 2. A layout of books. I will display some of the copies I bring and keep others boxed beneath the sales table. I may even keep some in the car if I have someone who can go out to fetch them during the program. Whatever you don't sell, you can bring back home. I like to bring to a book launch some of my other titles to sell also. You can offer a bundle price. Always set the table with many books, as this leaves the audience feeling that they are not buying one of the few books that someone else closer to the author ought to be buying. There is a certain thing as buyer shyness. 3. You will need a cloth or two to spread over the table or tables, display stand or stands to place your book against, have several displays even if you only have one title, and perhaps you could bring a potted plant or two. I like to cover the front and the sides of a table so that the possible mess beneath the table is not visible. I want people to feel comfortable about moving around the table. 4. The table is where you can create a sign with the price of the book or of your bundle so that you are not always repeating it. This will be propped against a book on a display stand. You can print this sign out at home and have it to bring to a book launch. 5. A supply of pens. Have plenty available to sign books and sign checks. People will walk away with pens you provide them to write checks, so bring plenty. 6. A flyer of the book for you to set on chairs where the audience is sitting. This both acquaints people with the title and gives them something to bring home to either pass on to others or to remind them to buy the book. 7. Business cards or other printed contact information other than the flyer. You want people who do not buy to leave with contact info. You also want people to be able to contact you easily. These are easy to forget to bring to a book launch. 8. A publicity board with copies of reviews of previous books or of your current book. Minimally, the press release you wrote for this book. I have always used tripods to hold the boards, and I have also taped or pinned the boards to a wall or a curtain. 9. Sign-up sheets for getting attendees' names and emails. I also bring a clipboard for people to write on and an attached pen for them to use to write. I like to print out the sign-up forms so that people are cued and can write in a straight line. 10. A box filled with appropriate paper and coin money. Since many books sell for some amount of dollars plus 95 cents, it is useful to have a lot of nickels. Dollar bills come in handy also. If your state or province has a sales tax, calculate the change that people will be requesting and have a lot of it on hand. 11. A PowerPoint presentation. Bring your own projector if the venue does not have one. This is information you can gather before the event. 12. Consider processing credit card payments. Mobile devices are equipped to process credit cards, but you need to procure an app beforehand. 13. Be prepared for a reading of your book. Your launch ought to include a reading. Notes on doing reading. The above suggestions for a book launch apply to the reading. In addition, here are 5 tips for a memoir reading program that are the most useful. 1. Read for no longer than 30 minutes. Then have a 15-minute Q&A and 15 minutes for meeting your audience personally. 2. Set your goals for your program. Why are you presenting this program? I will presume you are viscerally interested in sharing your life. Otherwise, you would not have written the memoir. Let's presume on your enthusiasm and let that be taken for granted. What are your other goals? 3. Is your secondary, presuming sharing content is your primary, goal to sell the book itself? For this, you will have to demonstrate how the book can meet the needs of the audience. Ask questions during the reading such as, has anyone here experienced a bitter divorce? Or has anyone here experienced a bankruptcy? Speak briefly about your own experience. Say something like, let me read from the book. It says what I want to say more succinctly and clearly. Then read from your memoir about whatever your experience was. 4. Always collect email addresses. Offer a bonus for doing so. I'll send you a PDF of a chapter I wrote but decided not to publish. I would love it if you gave me your feedback. Ought I to include it in another edition? Use the emails to keep in touch with the audience, especially for your second book. 5. Place your books near the exit and stand there during the last 15 minutes of your program. Bring all your titles. One may sell the other. Offer a discount or a bonus premium for buying that evening. For instance, 10% off all books bought tonight. My best tip for a memoir reading program is really general. Whatever you do, don't just go for doing a reading. Go for a marketing opportunity so that your past writing will support your future writing. Your best time to make a splash about your book will occur in the first 6 to 12 months after publication. Take advantage of that opportunity. Here are some action steps for promoting your book. Explore your options by promoting your memoir on a virtual book tour or on a blog tour. If you are unfamiliar with the terms virtual book tour or blog tour, think of it as a series of blog postings using excerpts from your books. Take these action steps to build a list of blogs for your virtual tour. 1. Make a list of every blogger you've connected with or perhaps have left a comment on their blogs. 2. Write a template letter announcing your blog tour and ask for permission to write a post about your book on their blog. 3. Prepare an Excel spreadsheet to record data, the name of the person and the blog, the date contacted, the response date and content, and notes. 5. Collate end matter, bio, photo, links, illustration, into a document that you can use to send to bloggers. Set up a web page as a promo for site visitors. Set up a tour itinerary on the page. List the upcoming sites and link to the new posts. The itinerary extends the life of the tour and serves as credential for prospective hosts. Keep everything in a binder for organization. In conclusion, whatever you do today, write a bit on your memoir.